my weekends. Welcome to the Magic Away podcast here on YouTube. On this show, we have Danny, Eli, Lee, and I am Kevin. And also joining with us tonight is Kirk. And, every now and then you might hear from our producer, Alan, if he wants to chime in. Or maybe he'll throw a banner up or something if he has a point to say. It'll be a lot of fun. Now, this is the final review for the whole Loki series that we've been covering. The past 6 episodes. The sucker finally ended. It was released on Disney Plus in the United States on Wednesday, July 14th, 2021. And we all saw it at various times. And I'm ready to get into it. But of course, before we get into it, before we get into all the details, all the spoilerly fun stuff, let's get a quick around the room and see whether or not you guys like the show and your reasons for your opinion, and give it a ranking from 1 to 10, where 10 is the best and 1 is like, whatever. And so, of course, as we have been doing the entire series, Eli, since you are our Marvel master, you should go first, sir. So, Eli, I'll turn it over to you. Let us know what you think.
Oh, well, thank you, sir. The finale, finally got a chance to see that. And, oh, boy, that was not what I was expecting. So I know it's the spoiler-free section. If I got to rate this one, it was really, I have to give it, I just have to do like a 5. I can't. I don't know what to say, and it messed me up kind of bad on the inside. It did. There was some stuff I was kind of hoping would build up, culminate, and then be this big boom, and then I would see who the big bad was. Because I know we talked about that in the last episode, and I saw the big bad, and it's like I got to take a nap. I'm gonna wake up, and maybe something will happen, and
I saw yourself and you felt like you wanted a piece of fruit.
Yeah, I was like, man, it was one of those things where I felt like I could go to the bathroom and not miss anything. So I know we'll get really dig into it, but I kind of took some of the wind out of myself. So yeah.
What'd you give it? What number did you give it?
I'm trying to be cool, but just 5 is best I could do.
5.
Yeah.
All right. And so if I may, we'll toss it to our other Marvel fan, which is our guest on the show over here. Kirk, you heard him first on the first review shows of these things. So since you're here, Kirk, off summer weekend, whatever, a quartermaster, bassmaster,
taskmaster, yes.
What do you think, sir, man? We're rating 1 out of 10 and give us your thoughts.
I'll go a little higher than Eli. I'll give it a 6.
That's not much high. It may as well, just the 5.
It's one better.
It's one better.
It's uno better.
Half point.
Okay.
But okay, yeah. You felt kind of the same way, or what?
It is what it is. I mean, it's of the 3 series that we had, this is the best finale. I feel, but still, I thought it would be a lot more than this.
You thought this finale was? I can't agree with that.
Okay. Yeah.
I liked it more than Falcon and Winter Soldier, and WandaVision.
That's last episode. Okay, let these other gentlemen talk, because I no.
Yeah, well, they will pair you guys up.
Yeah,
that'd be great. All right, so Danny, let's toss it over to you, all the way from the Green Bay country, Wisconsin, the Cheeseheads, way up there.
Way up there.
What do you think?
Fear the Deer. Fear the Deer. That's what.
Fear the Deer.
What I would say is this. I got to give it a 10. Unquestionably, that haircut Eli sporting is a 10, in my opinion. Lee put it about a 3. As for the series itself, though, y'all guys are crazy, man. I'm gonna give this about a 9.
9?
I don't know what y'all were thinking. I'm on. Yes, I know I'm on a delay here, a real bad delay, but this is the best Wi-Fi that they have to offer out here. But I'm gonna give it a 9. That was a strong closing. It's exactly what we thought it would be. I mean, it was like, if you go look at last week's episode, that's exactly what I said would have needed to have happened. Is if they were going to introduce a big Marvel bag, that's exactly what needed to happen, and that's exactly what did happen. And I thought they paid it off great.
Interesting.
Okay.
All right.
I don't know about 9, but okay.
Yeah,
All right.
I'm yeah, for
Nine.
me, nine. I'm giving it about. I'll say I felt an 8 after that was done. I felt an 8. For some reason I felt a little unfulfilled. I didn't expect that there was going to be a second season. So when I saw that little plug or whatever, at the end, and this is no spoilers. I'm
Yeah.
sure that's all over the internet now. That it's going to be a second season of Loki. Okay, it kind of makes sense how they ended it. There's going to be more left to have. It's I enjoyed it. There was some things that I didn't quite expect, which I'll get into when we get into the spoiler section. But there was still a piece of me that wanted a little bit more. I'm not sure what I was looking for. Um, it definitely wasn't my prediction from last week, so I definitely lost that. So I guess that MODOK would come back and all hell will break loose.
I'm
But
still holding out for more.
Yeah, one day MODOK will come in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. But it still was entertaining. I don't. Man, the series started really, really strong. I don't know if it ended on like a super strong note like they have been, but it was good. It was. I enjoyed it. I was still pleased. But yeah, there was still a little piece of me that's like, there's still something that I don't know is missing. And some things that were expected to happen, then it happened. So there you go. There you go. All right, Lee, I'll toss it over to you, sir.
All right, so I had the same feeling, probably about an 8, maybe a 7. So like I was 7, but then when Lil Nas X came out, I was like, yo, 8, 100% for sure.
Nas X.
Spoiler. So I felt it kind of dragged a little for me. I don't know what I was expecting to happen, but it was just like I was just kind of ready for some of the conversations to end and some of the stabbing to begin. Like let's get some fighting going on or something. But it was entertaining. I wish I had seen the other endings of these other series to know that, to have something to compare it to. But overall, I'm going to push it up to about an 8. I was entertained. I also feel like I need to watch these on the TV instead of my laptop. That might give it a little better emphasis. But, got to do what you got to do when you're out at the hotels working. So 8 for me.
Yeah, I watched it on my laptop and it was fine. I watched it in my office. Not that I do things like that at work, but I I enjoyed it. It was good. It was good. What other thoughts do we have about this? Spoiler free.
I mean, so I'm the only one that judges the lowest, so I'm kind of surprised. But I mean,
I was kind of surprised you gave it that low. But yeah, I was like, I figured you were going to be a little bit higher on it than us.
I guess my thing was that I know we talked about how it could work out, and it's always different when you kind of theorize something and when you see it in execution. And I think that was the thing. Like I was like, okay, I could wait for this to kind of build, but we had seen characters use certain powers in previous episodes that could have given us a different result. I think that wasn't really used. I thought like there could have been a little more action in it, but just to and look, maybe y'all are just bigger fans of dialogue than I am, but it was just like
I did enjoy the dialogue. I enjoyed a little bit of that.
I was fine with it towards the beginning, and then like towards the middle, it was more like when the villain of the show basically tells you, yeah, I got nothing else from here. And then I'm kind of like, all right, wait a minute. Maybe you shouldn't have the title of what you should have. I mean, like, I guess like for me, I was expecting kind of like a big oomph kind of ending since it was the finale. And I just didn't feel like that. I felt like it could have went another episode and that one could have been a finale. So that's why I just pretty much went as low as I did. There were some parts that I thought I chuckled at, but yeah, I just didn't expect it to just kind of have that. I just wanted to be a little more grandiose than what it was. The other series at least kind of had a crescendo to the ending. This one, It really didn't. I mean, it was like it could have been as well just been to be continued at the end of it.
Well, they kind of did. You know, I felt like that at first, but when I saw that there was going to be a second season, I was like, oh, okay. I felt a little better about it.
Right. And you know what, for the record, like Dad, I watched it on your Apple TV. Holy moly. Like that is a new form of television.
He sold on your Apple TV, Danny.
It took me a little bit to get used to the remote.
Once I showed him how to use the remote, he was like, oh my God, this is the greatest thing since sliced bread.
It was. And then I pulled out some sliced bread and talked to it and said, this is better than you.
And the sliced bread said, no shit. Oh, my bad. I'm YouTube. I'm sorry. Excuse me.
Yes.
Now I'm Lee. Anyway, yeah. So what are thoughts we got, or do we want to jump to the spoilers?
But
y'all ready?
I mean, how are y'all saying y'all didn't think there was going to be a second season? Like y'all thought that was just Disney was just going to be like, we just need one thing to make money. We don't need any more of this.
Well, no, I mean, like WandaVision so far, all I know is only one season. Falcon Winter Soldier one season. I didn't realize Loki was going to have a second season. Like I really didn't.
Okay.
I
just assumed that they would squeeze as much out of this as they could. I don't. That's just assumption.
I mean, they could have done that with any other series too. Mandalorian's the only one that they've actually squeezed a couple of seasons out of, but I don't know. Yeah. What do you guys think?
Cool. Here's what I would say. I guess the reason I'm having no trouble understanding our ranking is because of what Lee said. Like, even if y'all didn't think there was going to be a second season of Loki, I mean, you just got a sneak preview of Captain. You know he's going to be the big Marvel baddie leading into Spider-Man and Doctor Strange. This is where the Marvel Universe is going, and this is what we all wanted. We didn't want it to be another typical villain that we were kind of sort of introduced to, that we all kind of sort of met, and he's just going to be defeated, and that'll be it. It'll be another Agatha. It'll be another, Peacemaker, whatever the hell the guy's name was. I can't remember. From Talking to Soldier. This is memorable. This is big. I don't understand why y'all we're looking for something more than this. This is like, wow, we got it happened exactly like we said it had to happen in order for a big Marvel baddie to be introduced into the Marvel Universe. And could there have been other things that would have made it better? I suppose so, but I mean, in as much as this is the first introduction of the character that is the new Thanos that is going to carry this series or this franchise forward, I couldn't have been any happier.
So look, guys, now that we have done that, let's dive into the details. But first, I must give you a spoiler warning. If you have not watched the show yet and don't want anything ruined for you, please hit pause right now, save this video, and come back to us later when you have watched it so that you can catch all the opinions that we have in the spoiler-filled sections. Guys, here we go. 3, 2, 1, go. Spoiler time.
So festive.
Spoiler time.
Love it.
All right, so and the big spoiler that we have is the big bad is a brother eating an apple.
Yeah.
That amused me.
You like that?
I like that. I did. We had 2 apples during that episode. I thought that was killer.
He could jump back and forth so you couldn't stab him.
Much so I felt like Eli could have played that role, man. I could see it.
I'd have played that role.
I've never seen you eat an apple though, so I don't know.
Oh, I can eat an apple. I can eat an apple and talk and chew bubble gum at the same time.
Can you stand on the desk like he did with such?
Oh, when he cut it up? No, but
and,
I could have. I definitely would say, like the beginning half of that conversation was cool. He lays out everything, why he makes the TVA and all that stuff. Totally get that. But just that second half of the conversation, to what you were saying before, Danny, I thought once he was like, well, if they, spoiler, right? I mean, he gets stabbed. He sets himself up so, they can either let him go and they can take his spot, or they could kill him and then risk a worse version of Kane coming out. I personally just knew that was where it was going, but I just thought it would have had a little more dramatized. I mean, I guess guessing as to which Kane will come out, that has something to it. But I was just ready for the timelines to split, a portal come out, and Kane that I'm used to seeing with an armored face with some double barrel gun or something, just blow that old guy away, and then boom, well, now you got something to worry about. This just so in that sense, this was just kind of soft to me. You know what I'm saying? Like if they'd have gave it another episode, I can see that, but that's just kind of where I felt it just kind of let off. I mean, what kind of bad guy goes ahead again says, "Oh boy, we had a point. I don't even know what to do right now. I'm the bad guy. I should know what to say, but 10 seconds ago, I totally forgot."
They reached the threshold.
Yeah, he reached the threshold. I'm like, did they run out of lines for you or something?
Time out. Time out. You realize that they were talking to the nice version of Kang, not the eventual Kang that we're going to get. They were talking to nice guy Kang.
Yeah.
Yes, they were talking to Big Daddy Kang.
Big Daddy
Kang.
Liu Kang.
Right. Right. After you converted to Islam. Yeah.
Right. Exactly.
Well, that's one of the things I thought, because they introduced Kang without introducing Kang. Because they didn't give you him. They gave you a variant of him.
Yes. Thank you, Kirk.
Now he's coming later. It's like when Danny said that last week on your review of it. It's like, how are you going to introduce the big bad in the last episode and there's nothing else to him? That's why I didn't think it would be Kang. I thought it would be Loki himself. But then they did it in a way where they didn't introduce him. They just showed you another version. So we still haven't seen him yet. We know it's him. We know it's the actor, but we haven't seen that character yet.
Unless that follows what they have in the statue. The statue at the very end is kind of what sells it. He doesn't have the arm, it's just his face, but he's got that big circular plate. You know, like in the comics, without that, he's got that plate on him and just that simple outfit. That was the only thing that I was like, oh, okay, yeah, that looks like a Kang design outfit. But, you know, still, hey, look, nice variant, any variant, you know, that's all cool. That's just not what I was looking for. The other thing was the Sylvie's been enchanting everything. She can enchant, you know, cops from the TVA. She can enchant, you know, people to make sure they get on a train ride.
Elias.
Yeah, you know, right? I mean, I thought that was going to be like another story twist too. I think they also kind of made her kind of base. I know her aim was to get to the top and then, like, you know, wreak her havoc, but I just thought she was just going to kind of figure out what was what. And they kind of evolved that character to a certain point and then kind of just said, all right, stop. But at least we got the kiss, though. I mean, you know, didn't see that coming. But
you didn't see that coming?
I was joking.
Oh, you're being sarcastic.
Yeah, we talked about the kiss happening last week. I mean, we were all like, come on, that's got to happen. You know, that would have been a story right there. That's what all the time.
The same person kissing.
Yeah. Then Monica Sly shows up with a guitar and a photo and saves the day. Yeah.
And then she pushed him back.
Yeah, and like when they were kissing, there for a minute, I was half expecting to hear them play Whitney Houston singing "The Greatest Love of All."
Oh no, I was thinking James Bond got to jump back, kiss myself 2 times. Hey. You know.
And he did.
He did. He liked it. Yeah.
So, would you want to kiss yourself, like a female variant of yourself?
I would not want to know that was a female variant of myself.
I'd be curious to know what a female variant of myself would look like.
Wow.
do you have any idea how hard it would be to get 2 Eli on the couch?
We would never get up at the same time. You know, we couldn't see each other in the morning.
Eli, we're about to record. Eli, where you at? Eli.
I'm just talking to the female version of me. She gonna give me a ride over there, but she late. She gonna be there soon.
Oh, I'm sorry. I took a nap.
Took a nap. Like, it's all right, baby. You know, I know where you're coming from with that. Yeah. Now, I don't know. I knew that we knew that was gonna happen, but that's the thing, right? I thought there would have been this. They just did all the stuff that made it happen, and then like no crazy divergent anything. I mean, so I guess it's like, well, just let all that go. Don't worry about what got built up to that. Let all that go. Now, I'll give one good positive because I watched it essentially once, but I scrolled through it at different points with that Apple TV, but that's something else. So twice. I don't know why, but the part where Mobius wants to take the prudent object from the judge and she kicks his ass. I don't know why he's like, oh, yeah, you were right. You got me. Like, that made me laugh every time I saw it.
That's very Owen Wilson.
Yeah, right. So I give him that. I still think Mobius is still a funny character. I'm glad he didn't turn out to be the bad guy. To be honest with
I hope
you,
we see more Mobius. I like that character.
Same here.
Yeah,
I couldn't agree more.
I think I like Sylvie too. I wouldn't mind her in some form or fashion as well. I like that balance between him versus Loki. Her versus Loki.
Well, she got to calm the hell down now. Now you just, now she looks like crazy woman.
Well,
she did break down a little bit.
Yeah, I'm kind of I'm with Eli on this one a little bit because I was like, that's one thing that kind of bugged me a little bit, but I mean, it had to go there. At some point, you're kind of like, well, here's Loki who's kind of changed his way from being the big baddie who tried to take down the Avengers and take over Earth and all this stuff. And next thing you know, here's Sylvie when offered a choice between being with Loki and being happy and being peaceful and ruling over this timeline. She just says, nah, I'd rather vengeance and chaos. And let's take this son of a bitch down and let's just see what happens.
Yeah.
But I'm not you.
Yeah, then she kicks him out. And then she's using that power to just knock him back, like whatever. What would you call it? An enchantress force push or whatever. I mean, that's cool. But it's like, yeah, you still have this power. Like, I really thought at one point she was going to be like, wait, Loki, look, I don't believe you. And he's lying. And he's like, no, he might be telling the truth. I really thought there was going to be a part where she was going to come up to Kang and be like, and, kind of see where he was at. Like, I don't know why. Maybe that's eccentric, but I just thought it was kind of going there because the conversation was so heady and she never did that.
So you thought she was going to enchant the dude and
at least do the thing like she did. What was it? CB80, CB4 when she, touched the girl. Yeah, and she was in the bar with her. And so I thought that was because that's a power that's been established.
Right.
So it's not like we're surprised by this. And that's what I'm saying. Like the things that they built up for this character that the character didn't use at all. And that would have taken that story down, I think, a different path. And that's where I just thought it was going, and it just didn't. I mean, she looks like if they had made her the bad guy originally, and then he tracked her to this point, and then she was like, see, no, I'm not really the bad guy. That's the bad guy. Then I couldn't say nothing. But I've been taught to fall in love with this character for at least, what would you say, 3 episodes, give or take? Yeah. Maybe 2. Give it 2.
Maybe 2?
Maybe 2. And now you don't want to use this character to his fullest potential. I think that's wrong. I think that's good and terrible. That's good and terrible.
Well, I mean, there's a part in there, though, where Sylvie...
Go ahead.
There's a part in there where Sylvie pretty much says, like Loki wants to storm the gates, and she's like, I've been waiting for this. This happened to me before you were even born. And so they kind of set it up from the get-go. She's just anxious to exact revenge. And so that's why I kind of bought that character was consistent with everything you've seen thus far. With her plan to take down the TVA, to get to that person, to finally, take that person out. I didn't have a problem with that whatsoever. I thought the whole idea that Sylvie was the more emotional of the 2 Lokis and the one that was going to act rashly to avenge what happened to her. I mean, it was more the character turn of Loki, who was more the sympathetic one, or the male Loki, I should say. That was a more sympathetic one that was kind of like the revelation. Sylvie doing what she did was kind of expected. I never expected her to, let me touch you to at least make sure what you're telling me is true. That would have gone against what I felt like. You didn't do that with Renslayer. She just wants revenge.
I'm curious to know where she went. Where Ravonna went. She just took off. I guess we'll find out in
another time.
She went to find free will.
Yeah, that's a good question.
She went to find free will. Where does one find that? She probably pop up somewhere else.
Free Willy?
That's something else I want to ask.
Yeah.
Loki and Sylvie had a choice between free will and pretty much having all their moves, the rest of their lives dictated for them. A dictatorship. Another word. Loki chose chose a dictatorship. She chose free will. That's one way of looking at it. But free will meant the chaos and everything else, the anarchy that comes with it by splintering the timeline.
She
Loki
didn't
wants
want
to keep
the
it.
Willy Wonka ending.
Yep. Got the golden ticket.
Okay.
Well, but I would say, like, to counter Kirk's point, that Loki wanted happiness with Sylvie. Sylvie wanted vengeance. Is what I took away from it. Now, what Kirk said could be exactly right, and that could be exactly what we're trying to communicate. But that's what I took from it. Is that
And I bring it
at
up
the end of the
because
day, Sylvie just wanted. Go ahead.
I said I bring that up because the words free will was used so many times in this episode that only one person has free will, and that's he who remains. Nobody else has free will. Because remember, Mobius, when he went into our office, yes, we was fighting. You want to find free will. Because they're trying to get to a place where their every move is not dictated for them. Because remember, that was all the way back from the first episode. Loki had to sign that big old stack of paper saying everything he's ever said.
Right.
Everything is laid out for you.
Wow.
But when Kang was basically, now what I got out of that part was Kang was like, hey, look, I'm too old for this crap anymore. I don't want to do this. I don't know what made them the best candidate because they've been trying to kill him for 6 episodes, but apparently they're the best candidates. I would have taken Judge Renslayer and told her, hey, this is yours, but fine, let's take the 2 people sitting across from you with blades. I can see why at that point you can say, look, y'all the best guys for the job. So he gives them the choice to take his spot. So they already would have free will if they took it because they would enslave everybody else if they were to take his position. Or they just, I guess, like you say, if free will is getting a worse version of this guy to show up, I mean, that's still going to be a future, dictatorship. They just have to hope that they can deal with, the forthcoming impending danger. But either way it goes, if that was the initial decision, they could pick and choose what they would have wanted to do with that first choice. It was that's what Loki picked out of it. But yeah, Sylvie just didn't trust Kang. She just did. Everything was, this is a manipulation. Didn't really have to explain why. She told him, "Hey, look, you guys plucked me out of a timeline. I'll trust you," and that's it. He was the only one that was like, "Hey, wait, this is a nice little power block. Like, if this guy is right, we get to run some stuff here. Then we can kiss each other in this house of mystery, and nobody will ever know." You know what I'm saying? Like, nobody gonna know that.
Well, I think that's a very biased interpretation because I do believe that there are points where Loki tries to calm her down and said, look, this is a very important decision you're about to make here. And she was just like, yeah, you just want the throne. He's like, no. This is really, really, really important. You don't get this. I don't care about the throne. And she's like, yeah, I'm just going to kill this dude anyway. Like, so, I mean, I get what you're saying. I don't think it was as calculated as you make it sound out to be. I think it was more of an emotional decision for Sylvie than what you're saying.
Oh, well,
Didn't he basically want to die so that all these? Well,
yes,
how do I say it? I don't know if he wanted to. He's like, okay, look, kill me, so that now the new world order can begin, and so like to release the evil guy or whatever.
You got to get rid of the Willy
That's how I
Wonka guy.
interpret it. It's like, yeah, he's
Look, go ahead.
Oh, he froze.
Who froze?
Lee.
I did.
Look for Loki. He did.
Lee froze.
Uh-oh.
Yeah,
Okay.
So all I'm saying is like
No, go ahead.
he wanted this to happen so that the new version of him could rise to power.
I can see that.
Can I just say something to that real quick?
Yes.
Here's where I disagree with Lee a little bit. I don't think he wanted it to happen. I think he was just bored. I think what he was saying is like, look, I've been here doing the same thing over and over and over and over and over again. I'm old. I'm tired. I'm done with this. So kill me. Go ahead. Let's see what happens. Don't kill me, or do kill me, and then y'all can go ahead and keep the TVA going. Whatever. I think he was just like he was bored with the same old, same old. It was just like, I want a little strange.
Yeah.
I want a little new.
Go ahead. I'm sorry. I didn't.
Go ahead, D. I'm sorry.
No,
No. You caught where I was going.
Yeah, no, and I was gonna say, because that's what I was saying earlier. Is like he gave me the impression he was burnt out, and he just was like, hey, he did kind of like a Doctor Strange line where he's like, hey, I've seen all the other alternatives. This is the only way that it has to be done. And they had a choice. I mean, but he also had a choice too. I mean, as far as I was concerned, we could have went with one of our theories and had Miss Minutes do it. I mean, she kind of looked sinister in that initial part.
It almost looked like it was going to be her for a second.
For a second, yeah.
Yes.
It would have been kind of cool.
Raise your hands if you would have been happy with that.
Nope.
No.
No one would have wanted that.
That would have been bad.
Yeah.
Hey, what? That was the biggest jump scare in a Marvel movie yet.
Miss Minutes.
When she popped up in that hallway, it's like, what the hell?
Yeah. What do you want? You want all the power? You're like, whoa, they get a little dark.
Hey, y'all.
Hey, y'all.
Hey, y'all, what do you want? What do you want? You want the Infinity Gauntlet? You want to kill Thanos?
You want to take the throne?
Yeah.
You want to put up with yourself and live happily ever after?
You want to ride on dust? You sure can.
You want to ride on this?
You want to do that? You can.
You want to ride that puppy?
You want to hold Misty?
Oh,
Yeah.
wait, got a Southern Stacey now?
I mean, yeah, we challenged it all.
That's
I mean,
right.
that was, I mean, so I thought that he was tired. And again, though, I think that he could have easily, that episode, those last few minutes, that could have just gone in so many different directions and done so many different ways to just build those characters up. But I get it. It's going into second season. So they had to leave those, what do you call it, like loose ends.
Yeah.
But at the same time, you're not going to see the second season for like another, year and a half. You're lucky, kind of like with the Mandalorian.
I was wondering about that. I have no idea when the second season was supposed to come out or when it's supposed to fit in the whole scheme of things.
Would this be before or after the new Doctor Strange movie? Because you would think this would feed into it some kind of way.
This should be yeah. I mean, maybe they just deal out multiple. We saw a commercial for Shang-Chi already. Like that doesn't look like it has any relative who just watched so far.
Yeah, it's coming in September.
Yeah,
and we got the What If series.
Well,
yeah, true. I like the comic.
Well, I think you guys are forgetting. I think you guys are. Sorry, I think you guys are overlooking What If, which is a multiverse timeline of things that could have happened. I think y'all guys are overlooking Ant-Man, Quantumania. I mean, where Kang is pretty set to be the big baddie there. I mean, I don't think you have to wait until the next season of Loki to find out where they're going. I think what they're using, this is going to play out over a lot of. There's no end resolution in sight at this point in time. You're going to be dealing with multiple Kangs as he finds his conqueror Kang, if you will. That's where I think we're going with this.
Yeah, I can see that.
Did you catch that? Did you hear at one point he said I'll be called the Conqueror?
And a jerk.
Amongst other things.
Amongst others. Yeah, so look, here we are at the end of the season of season 1 of Loki, apparently. What do you guys think of this entire series as it's been presented in these past few episodes? And how about we compare it? Kind of like what I think Kirk did that. He compared it to the other 2 TV series, WandaVision and Falcon and Winter Soldier. What do you think of
he
this
liked
so
the
far?
last episode of that one as compared to the other 2. So is that what you want? That's to compare just the last
the
episode?
entire series as a whole. Let's do it holistically. Now that we're at the end of this Loki season, what do you guys think of it as compared to the other series holistically? How do you think it fares up? Or is that even a fair comparison?
The best.
So Danny says the best.
No, it's fair. It's totally fair.
Yeah. I would agree with that. I think I like that. I would almost, if I had to rank it, I'd probably say Loki, WandaVision, Falcon, Winter Soldier in that order. 1, 2, 3,
Okay.
maybe.
Nah, look. Oh, God bless.
Perhaps in that. I don't know. What do you, Danny? You didn't really rank it. Like,
I'm
what
with
do you?
Kevin.
Oh yeah, you're with me. Okay, so we're right about there. What about you guys? So the other three.
Yeah.
What say you?
Yep, totally there.
Same thing, same order.
Yep.
Same order, Kirk. Really?
All right, Kirk's He Who Remains is going.
He's like, yeah, I'm
He Who
sticking with
Remains
that.
down the bayou in
As
LaFou.
much as I love the black and white stuff, I would say this one first, then WandaVision, then Falcon Winter Soldier.
Okay.
Okay.
How about Lee? We'll go Lee, and
Yeah.
then we'll save the Marvel Master for last. Lee, what do you think, man? Did you?
I would put I'll put the Falcon Winter Soldier above WandaVision, but still like Loki more than both of those.
Okay, so you got Loki up on top. All right.
Yeah, I would say so. I still say so. Not that it's the same series, but it's a Disney Plus series. I think I like Mandalorian still a little bit more than this one.
As far as Disney Plus series
Yeah,
go, you
just
like
Disney Plus
Mandalorian
series
top.
in general. The ones I've seen, I think I'm still more into the Mandalorian than this.
You're a Star Wars guy at heart.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
So, a little biased. No problem.
Excellent distinction. Yeah.
Yeah. No.
Ooh. All right, Eli. So you're the last one. What do you think?
I just look. I'm sorry. I like action. So I'm definitely
You're putting Falcon first.
I'm putting Falcon first. Look, that intro was insane. I mean, they flew into helicopters and all kind of stuff. I mean, it's insane. Now I'll admit that it had a little more realism.
Wait a minute.
What? I ain't saying that. You gonna jump on me when I have my last? Go ahead. Go ahead.
I just make sure that I understand what you're saying. So you're saying that Sarah Carter as a villain was more satisfying than Kang, and the girl who was essentially Ali from the Breakfast Club as the bad guy that was operating within the Falcon and Winter Soldier universe. That was that was your favorite bad guy. Seeing Kang did nothing for you.
I mean, look, it's nice Kang, first off. So, I mean, that wasn't like Kang the Conqueror. It was just nice Kang who didn't know what he was doing for 10 seconds.
Willie Kang.
Yeah, Pootie Kang.
Willie Wonka Kang.
But
yes, I will grant you that. That is absolutely true. That that performance was so odd. I thought he was like channeling a 60s Batman villain. I'm like, what is he going for? Frank Ocean as the Riddler in Batman? I mean, it's a little quirky.
Yes.
And when I realized it wasn't the real Kang, I'm like, this is exactly what we said. You and I agree on, in fact. You and I were like simpatico on this one, where we're like, it's either they're not doing a big baddie. They do a big baddie. The only way they can get around it is by introducing somebody, by unleashing somebody. And you and I both agreed on that. And we both said that that's the only way it could happen. That's exactly what happened. They unleashed Kang into the Marvel Universe exactly like you and I said they would do.
Unleashed.
If let me rephrase it. If they were going to do a big baddie, we both figured they would play it safe. Thank Christ they didn't play it safe, because if they played it safe, Falcon and Winter Soldier would be my number one.
Oh, well, fair, not fair. I look, and I'll give you. I liked Falcon Winter Soldier, but again, that might be the bias of liking the Captain America mythology, and
action.
Yeah, and action, and that's the thing. I and then they had U.S. Agent, which that was a kind of weird twist. But yes, is it the villain of Kang? No, but I still like that series, and then I would go with Loki.
Oh, so you put Loki too, okay.
Yeah, and then I would go with WandaVision. But it's not to say all those shows are terrible. It's just about what your preference and taste is, and then now how things are going in and how they kind of interact with each other. But Falcon and Winter Soldier is a little easier of a story to tell than Loki is, because that's time and that's variance and rules. Yeah, and so that's a little more insane, but they just had like just these weird parts that were just, and we talked about it, that were just kind of out of whack. And WandaVision, very cool build-up, but towards the end, awesome build-up, but yeah, in the middle, it was a little weird and confusing. So that's why I rated that where I put that.
Awesome. Okay.
Can I ask you a question real quick?
Yes, you may ask
Can I
Eli.
ask Okay, so here's my question to you, because again, you and I spoke about this, and we said this is the only way to do this. If you're going to release a big baddie, he had to be unleashed onto the Marvel Universe. And is there a better way that you would have unleashed Kang other than this? Is there a better way that you would have gone ahead and kept Sylvie and Loki still both alive, Mobius still alive, and unleashed Kang to wreak havoc on the Marvel Universe? What would you have done different? Because I didn't see this coming. I thought they would play it safe. I was glad they didn't play it safe. But I was a little bit shocked and pleasantly surprised by the way they played him in this one, because at first, again, like, yeah, I'm with you 100%. I'm like, man, what a risk. I mean, you're going to ask this guy to come on screen, act goofy, and now we got to take him seriously as a big baddie for the Marvel Cinematic Universe for years to come. What a risk. I mean, what a risk for Marvel to take, but I totally like the risk. So my question is, what would you have done? I mean, I think you're with me. You would have rather to be a Kang or, as Kevin put it, a MODOK or a Doctor Doom or something like that, a big baddie. But again, you would have had to have unleashed him, and he would have had to live to fight another day while not losing face, while our villain, our hero, still remained alive. So what would you have done? Because I couldn't have conceived of anything beyond what they did.
Did you want him to come down like in Grease Beauty School Dropout, where the angel comes and starts singing? I'm King the Conqueror.
Oh, what you doing?
You have lost, Loki, both of you. Da, 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 da.
But I'm here for you. Like, take
King
you
the
back to
Conqueror.
them.
Booga, wugga, wugga. Was that what you wanted?
You know what? Now that you said that, I would totally love to see that.
Okay.
I gotta admit, that's got pizzazz, and that's something good right there. I would say if I were to take that show and then kind of rearrange it slightly, knowing now what I know, I think I would have extended the Timekeepers myth a little bit more. I would have done that. And then in the course of doing that, when you think that that's the end, like, you know what I'm saying? When they cut them down, you're like, oh no, that's robots. I think right there, then I would probably have, if I have to have Nice King and Pootie King and all that, then I would after that, but like, oh, you've messed up now, or you know what I mean? Like some sort of foreboding thing like that. But I would have kept the Timekeeper. I think I would have kept that going a little bit longer. So then that way, when it would have got up to the big bad, we would have had a little more episodes to kind of give it that lead and then say, hi, we fooled you. We got somebody worse than them. Because in the scheme of time, these characters, and Kirk, you say different, but these guys are kind of like parallels to each other. One group taught the other one, and that's a relationship that you don't get from this. Now that weird little demonstration he did, where it was like the different versions of him, and they were like all clay and stuff. That's cool, but maybe having a little time spent on that one instead of them talking. I don't know their budget, but maybe try that one. I might have explored that to tell that story a little bit better.
I think being just 6 episodes, it kind of did what they could in the time they had. To condense that story, that this is what happened. I discovered the multiverse, and my other variants came in. We were cool with each other at first. We give some compliments, and then we started fighting. And then he came over, took them all over. However you straighten out the timeline, I think it was a good job. Nice little wrap up.
Wrap up.
Would you say that? Was there any episode in there, now that you see them all, that you figure, hey, they could have plucked that one out, added whatever in, like you say, to kind of give it that that push? Like I'm thinking, what episode was that? The one when it's stuck on the planet.
Vormir? Mordor?
No, not Mordor.
Temporal
Yeah,
chicken. Temporal chicken, whatever it's called.
Imperius.
Imperial.
Yeah, I mean, you know, like
Lamentus.
Lamentus. Thank you. Yes, and like, you know, maybe half of that, and then like maybe have that time to put towards that or something. I mean, it would
That on the train.
Yeah, I don't know. But that's what I would have. That's what I would have explored and done. I mean, but it's a lot for what it is. Big Daddy King, Pootie King. I just, you know, I wish they just could have. We know who's bad. We know the bad guy because we read the books and we're aware of it.
Michael Jackson.
Michael Jackson. There you go. R. Kelly. R. King.
Nice.
And,
Yeah. Absolutely.
Now, I will say something else. I've watched a few videos today since I watched the show this morning, and you know, people are kind of crowing on themselves about how everybody, oh, I knew it was Kang, and knew it was Kang was coming. See, I called it right, and yes, you know, all the people who were disappointed the whole Mephisto thing in WandaVision, who ate crow back then, they all tooting their own horn now. But I will say, only one show said exactly how it was going to go. They're going to introduce Kang, or they're going to unleash Kang. That's kind of how that's exactly how it happened. They never said the name Kang. Never said it. You know that's him, but they unleashed him. So
only one show did that.
I couldn't agree with Kirk any more than what he just said. I mean, there's a lot of people taking credit for it, and their big evidence that it was Kang was that one of the timekeeper statues looked like him. And that was the
I had said that
supposition on, and it's like, no, like if it's going to be Kang, and we laid out a very clear path for how it could be Kang, and it's exactly how it unfolded, and that's why I am so impressed. I mean, to do an episode, the series finale, if you will, with no action, man, that took a lot of balls. And that's how good the story that they're setting up and how it's going to unfold is going to go. And I just had to say, by the way, that took a lot of balls. Why 3 people were getting into an elevator right in front of me. So that was a little awkward to do.
You got balls, man. You got balls letting the people know where it's at.
Yeah.
Something we haven't touched on.
That's right, man.
Did anybody else feel a little heartbroken when Loki finally came back to the TVA and Mobius had no idea who he was? All the bond those two men built up over this course of these 6 episodes, and for him to finally come back to him, he's like, "Who are you? What's your name?"
You're an analyst, right? What department are you from?
Yeah, it was like a weird Twilight Zone mode. I think about to call the cops on them again, weren't they?
Yeah, I felt bad, but then at the same time, I was like, okay, well, this sets up the next season. This is great.
Yeah. Where we go from here?
I was more upset by that than when I was by what Sylvie did.
Yeah, no, I would agree with that. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. You know, I thought to myself, I wonder if they're going to find that spark again, or that familiarity.
I'm sure they're going to find the familiarity. They're the same person.
Well, I mean, no, I'm saying the same person, but it's like, you know, they may or may not, depending on the circumstances, you know? Because that version of Mobius came up in a different type of TVA world, apparently.
Okay.
Because there's a whole different
jet ski. No jet ski.
We don't know that yet, do we?
Yeah, this show gave you no happy ending. I give him that.
There's no jet ski.
There's no happy ending. You know, that's
jet ski won't happen until the end of Phase 4.
But I mean,
it's a dark show.
Can I say something real quick? Like, I'm a little disappointed in Eli, though. I really am a little disappointed in Eli because I would think a storytelling maestro like you, I get the idea of the immediate satisfaction, the instant gratification. I totally get that. But now that you see the 3D level chess that they're playing and where this is going to go and how many different versions of Kang can show up and wreak havoc, and until we actually get to the real Kang, and granted, again, huge risk, because how do you take somebody seriously when they're played like a goof for 30 minutes on a TV show? Go ahead.
No, it's okay. You remember one time we tried to do something where I would predict how the next phase of the universe would be. And then like I came up with that crazy Kang story, and it was like you're like, this is too crazy, there's too much. He goes in between time and space and all that stuff. That Kang was more intense than the one on the show. And I mean, I didn't even have an actor for him. That guy came right out the bat with like old soldiers and all kind of stuff. I'm sorry to hear you disappointed. I just really took the build up for what it was in this phase. Now I see what you're saying in that you're going for like the whole length. I just went for the small piece. Like if the whole MCU phase was like a big combo meal, all I wanted was fries right here, and I ain't get all the fries I was supposed to get in the container. You know
what I'm
I mean?
hearing is Danny goes for the full hour, and you only go for the 30 seconds.
I'm focused on the 30 seconds because it's intense 30 seconds. I said fries. I don't know how you got 30 seconds out of that. That's all good because we don't know how the stuff is shake itself out. So we got to work on what we have here.
All right, Eli. I'm sorry. Maybe I shouldn't have said it. I'm disappointed. Let me ask you a question. How would you ended it better? You just introduced that this is a Kang. It's a variant Kang. Okay. A variant Kang who's warning you. If you do this, there are variants of me that are going to come in and then rain an ungodly shitstorm upon this world that you've never seen before. I'm just bored here because I'm just being, what would you have done? And that's what I like about it. I like things that go places I would have never seen coming, and it makes sense. It makes sense that this is where you go. So tell me what your better version, once you know that Kang's a guy, we're going to end it with Kang. What would you have done?
Easily, I will take him saying whatever he says and him saying, okay, go ahead and kill me. And if they have to have the Luke Skywalker Darth Vader fight so she can go ahead and stab, all right, fine. But easily, once they start showing all of the different timelines that's branching out and everybody seeing it and stuff, I would easily put it's just strict comic book drawing like 101. There has to be a guy in shadow somewhere that looks more menacing. I mean, they did it with Thanos easily in the very beginning where you didn't see all of Thanos. You just kind of got like a glimmer or a shadow of him because the character that you're supposed to fear, you haven't seen. You're only seeing like these bits and pieces, and you're only seeing what could be coming. Nothing that says
fair enough.
But you asked how I would end it. I would at least give you.
Sounds like you want straight up Kang.
I don't
like this is Kang. I know, just like Kang.
It doesn't even. But I get it. All of the lines branched, but you could have something where somebody has to have the idea. You have to give someone the comprehension, I think, of what they're dealing with, at least at the end. I mean, like Loki running around and saying, nobody knows me. I think that's a twist, dark ending. But if you're now saying, well, what do you do if you gotta introduce this last guy? Well, yeah, you show the timelines like they're doing, but yeah, you start to show what the impact is. If I have to worry about different variants of this guy, yeah, I would give you a taste. I'd show you some people, some Roman soldiers in Pompeii get mowed down right when the volcanoes happened. Any sites that they showed, I mean, you could do that. But you don't need to show the actual versions of Kang in the light doing their thing. You could just show silhouettes of one uses an axe. I don't know. One uses a big gun. One commands an army. Just so the person watches like, okay, there's a lot, that could come down with that.
You did have those little models on the desk that he was using. It wasn't that.
When he told the story, yeah.
He was telling the story, yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
okay. Fair enough. I would say fair enough, but I would also say, I'm sorry?
Oh, nothing was said. Go ahead.
Okay. My bad. Delay out here. Yeah, fear the deer. Fair enough. I would just say that. Thank you, Kevin. That was a nice little scroll. But I would just say that, yeah, I think that you want the whole thing revealed to you. Like, you don't know that we're going to conquer Kang next. You don't know that. You don't know what the version of Kang we're going to see in Ant-Man is. They may not be ready to unleash this version of Kang just yet. But let me ask you this: are you more excited about where things are going if it was uh, the version of Kang that we saw, or are you more excited about where things are going if the variant Loki that they both beat up collectively and have a 20-minute fight sequence and we're done, and there's no Loki season 2. We did everything we needed to do and move on Ant-Man.
That's fair. No, that's fair. Of course, I would rather have an extension of a season 2. For sure.
And there will be, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm excited to see the various Kangs. So they did set it up to where we might see every different version of it, which would be pretty cool.
Yes.
And then
Right.
when things break, when they finally end Phase 4, it's like that's the big. Here it is. This is what you're going after. So
you've seen this, and
it should be very interesting.
And I hope
Absolutely.
everybody catches up on it.
It was a quirky performance, and at first, it was a quirky performance, and at first I'm sitting there like, what is this guy going for here? I don't quite get it. But I got to admit, by the end of it, I was sucked in. I was completely sucked in. Once I realized this is a variant Kang, and he's warning them of other versions to come, I'm like, thank you. Thank you for doing something original. Thank you for doing something I didn't see coming. Because everything else, like people have predicted Agatha, long way coming. People had predicted, in various movies. I mean, you knew what was happening. I like that they did something that I didn't see coming. And I saw how they did it. I didn't see the exact way they would do it. And I like that they did it like that. And I like that we didn't get a Mobius variant as the enemy. And this is going to what we saw here is that Disney Plus series matter.
Yeah, I'm just glad
what
that he
happened
didn't
here
fight
is
himself.
going to be the. Yeah, you would do what?
No, I would say I'm just glad we didn't see him, Tom Hiddleston actually fight himself. Like I thought I was like, oh no, please don't let it be that. So I'm glad that didn't happen. Yeah.
Awesome, guys. Well, look, man, here we are at the end of the series. Absolutely. It's we'd love to know what you guys think about this Marvel Cinematic Universe series. Let us know. Leave a comment down below. Also, make sure you hit like and subscribe so you get more of our wonderful content, as well as hit that little bell so you get a notification. Also, if you haven't checked it out yet, make sure you subscribe to our podcast wherever you listen to podcasts, where we talk about Black Widow, the other Marvel Cinematic Universe offering that was released this past weekend, a couple of days ago, but just before the release of the final version of Loki. So make sure you guys do that. And so look, on behalf of Danny, Eli, Lee, Kirk, Alan, and myself, thank you for watching, and Magic out.